Welcome to DROD'S MMA Boxing. Man, Manny Pacquiao versus Yodenis Ugas. What an incredible fight. I mean, you can't take anything away from Manny Pacquiao. He had an illustrious career. Win, lose, or draw, he is a Hall of Famer and is going to go down as one of the best in this era. Now check this out. You got to give him credit and give him props, because in boxing, they don't normally do these type of fights where he's feeling maybe on the lower level, where you'll see someone pull out of a main event and they replace them. But Manny Pacquiao did something that normal fighters don't do. Like normally, if a fight needs to be postponed, it's delayed, it's canceled. But very rarely do you see this where they have a replacement. And you might see it a lot in MMA, but not in boxing. So with Yodenis Ugas stepping in, Manny Pacquiao, he didn't have a full 6 weeks training camp. And I told my friends, because one of my friends said, man, he picked Yodenis Ugas. I was like, you know what? You made me right. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, because this is right up Ugas' alley. Having such a long, extensive amateur career, he's used to being able to fight unknown people with unknown styles. Whereas a professional boxer is very used to having a game plan and studying and that nature. Now, listen, you guys got to go back and watch the video that I did. The video on the prediction of Manny Pacquiao versus Yodenis Ugas. Ugas is a counterpuncher, and I bet you he shocked a lot of people, because a lot of people were saying, oh man, he's slow, he's there to be hit. Even when they asked Freddie Roach about Yodenis Ugas, he was very confident, because on paper, when you look at the tapes, he's there to be hit. He looks slow. But what many people fail to recognize is that he's slow by design. He wants to be there. He's there. He wants to be there in the mix. He wants you to think that you can hit him. Why? Because he's a counterpuncher. He's setting traps. And you thinking the man is slow and he's there to be open, and you throwing your hard punches at him and he's countering you. And, you know, I bet you a lot of people in the first round was like, this is going to be an easy fight. Look at Manny Pacquiao. He's just taking over. But they did not know that Ugas was just setting up the trap and just settling down to be able to land them body punches, which he ended up doing in the fight. I bet you people didn't even realize that. When the fight started being taken over by Ugas, it was like a slow, methodical takeover. He first established the counters and slow you down with the body punches, and then he comes in with the jab in the middle or later round. Most fighters start off with a strong jab and then slow, and you know, they pick you apart that way. What he does is he stops you from coming in, hurts you to the body, and then he starts to use his jab, because now he has you on the outside. Listen, the key was very simple for Manny Pacquiao. He had to move side to side, in and out. And a lot of people said, well, I don't think Manny Pacquiao, what the commentators were saying, I don't think Manny Pacquiao should fight on the outside. They were wrong. His strength is on the outside. Ugas is a stronger man who is a body puncher, and that was probably the worst strategy for Manny Pacquiao. Now, if you go back and you watch the 10th, 11th, and 12th round, you will see whether it is by design or whether it's based upon him figuring it out or Ugas just slowing him down, but he stopped rushing in. You know, during the fight, he kept rushing in and getting countered, getting countered. When he was on the outside in the 10th round, he had the better round. Why? Because Manny Pacquiao is smaller, but he has something that a lot of people don't have. He has great reflexes and he has good speed. He can really close the distance very quickly. His speed makes up for his disadvantage in the reach department. So he's able to. Roy Jones Jr. is a perfect example. A lot of people criticize him for his poor technique, but what they don't realize is that Roy Jones Jr. had the speed to cover distance. So whereas you and I may have to have a strong jab and set things up, his speed can cover that distance. So Manny Pacquiao has the speed to cover the distance. And you see in the 10th round, he had the better round. He landed his jabs. He landed his left hand. I think it was because he was preparing for the Errol Spence fight. But during the fight, man, his feet was supposed to be on the outside of Ugas, and his feet kept coming in, and he was getting countered like crazy. I'm going to do a breakdown on Saturday. I'm not going to do the breakdown for this fight now. I know what would happen. If I drop the breakdown, it's going to get pulled down. I'm probably going to get hit with another copyright. We ain't trying to do that right now. So if you are not subscribed to this channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, so that you will be able to see the breakdown of this fight on Saturday. If you are a subscriber of this channel, hit the notification bell so that you will be notified on Saturday when I drop the breakdown. Now let's get back into this whole thing. Listen, Manny Pacquiao had to make adjustments, and he didn't figure it out until maybe the 10th and 11th round what he had to do. He was constantly coming in there. I believe on paper, he thought to himself, man, this is going to be an easy fight. He did what many fighters have done. They ran straight into Ugas and ran into the counterpunching. You got to go back to the Amir Imam fight. The Amir Imam fight is the proper strategy to fighting Ugas. It's not coming directly on. Manny Pacquiao was throwing very hard punches and throwing combination punches. You do not throw combination punches or hard punches on a counter puncher. The reason being is because they're able to feed off of your impact. So the harder you throw a punch, then they can feel that punch, the last punch, and then counter. You know, that's where it becomes very difficult. Like if you have a punching bag, right, and you just throw soft punches and snap back, you'll see that you're able to draw your punch quicker to your face. But if you lay down and throw everything you have into that punch, you're not going to be able to get that punch back up quickly. So when you're fighting a counterpuncher, you want to set them up by throwing your feints and a lot of feints, not throwing hard shots, and not throwing a lot of shots that would give them the opportunity to counter you. And so maybe in the 10th round, that's when Manny Pacquiao figured out what he was supposed to do. For anyone who thinks, oh, well, Manny Pacquiao was old and his legs, no, because Freddie Roach said that the plan was to box Errol Spence Jr. They didn't have any plans of boxing Ugas. Why? Because Ugas was a different type of fighter, and they felt like they could be able to just go in there and take him out. Go back and watch the Adrien Broner fight. You'll see how Manny Pacquiao fought a different fight with Broner because he knew Broner was trying to counter him. So he had more respect for Broner than he had for Ugas. And so that's pretty much what it is. I'm not making excuses. I'm just analyzing and telling you exactly how I saw the fight. I strongly believe that if Manny Pacquiao prepared for Ugas in for at least 6 weeks, he would do a lot better. I don't think he want to do this fight again because this fight probably, you know, I could see it on his face like, man, this is his wife had her hair. See, I can't even watch. I hate it when they show the pictures of the wife. Like, it makes it very difficult for me because I can feel and sense what he's going through. I'm already seeing like, man, he's getting beat. He knows he's getting beat, and then you show the wife. I'm like, come on, guys, let's not show the wife. I'm trying to enjoy the fight at least, and you're making it difficult. But so anyway, so that's how I saw the fight. I told you guys it was gonna be a highly contested fight. I was just thinking that maybe Manny Pacquiao would be able to pull it off because, you know, him throwing a lot of punches, he could be able to steal a couple rounds. But, you know, honestly, Ugas is a tough fight for anybody. And if you're going to fight Ugas, you're going to need a really good training camp. This fight tailored him better because of his long amateur career. There's a big difference because the mindset is different between an amateur and a professional fighter. Mentality and the strategy for winning a professional fight is different than an amateur fight. An amateur fight, we go in knowing that there's a 3-round fight. And so amateurs are used to a particular kind of round. They're used to adapting to different styles and being able to see many different styles. They're able to adapt quicker on the fly. because of that amateur career. Whereas a professional fighter, even though a professional fighter is able to last for 12 rounds with one particular fighter, that fighter normally gets adjusted to that rhythm of that opponent at that time. Very rarely do you see a professional fighter being able to fighting an opponent on the fly and not having done their homework, not knowing anything about that fighter. It's very rare, and that's what makes amateur boxing such a difficult task. And when you get guys like Lomachenko, Guillermo Rigondeaux, and you get guys like Yodenis Ugas, guys who have very long amateur background, they make really good, solid professional boxers because they've collected a lot of data in their heads regarding styles, adversity, and a lot of stuff like that. So be aware, hit the notification button, subscribe, and on Saturday I'm going to drop the breakdown. I'm not going to do it now because I already know what's going to happen. This is DROD'S MMA Boxing. Y'all tell me how y'all saw the fight. Tell me, are you impressed with Ugas or are you not impressed? Tell me what you think. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.